I'm just being quiet. But let her sing. Let her have it now. Let's see. Y'all woke up. Thank you, Miss Dates. How are you doing? How are you? Citrinia. Oh, thank you, Queen. Miss Howard is the queen. I know I turned this thing off. We found it. We found her. I wonder if King Hollis is going to check in tonight or not. We got the queen holding it down, so we're good. Let's see. Let me see. How do I get her? She is singing. I'm going to get to her. I got to phase her out. Phase her out like a good DJ. Just phase it on down. Y'all impressed? I didn't do just a stop. Just stop. But I know. I was a DJ in college. One of the first, if not the first, hip hop DJ shows at University of Virginia. Yes, indeed. Yes, I did. On Thomas Jefferson Station. I brought it. Hence is my fascination with music still applies today. Thank you all for sharing your Wednesday night with me. I need some love. I'm gonna open up some members' microphones. How you doing, Ms. Dickens?
Congratulations, Mrs. Robinson.
That's exactly how I want to start the party. That's it. Mr. and Mrs. Robinson. Yes, indeed. Mrs. Robinson right here. Somebody posted on my Facebook that song. I like that. It was like one of the memes, like, and then what somebody today, they were like, you're not gonna make me keep singing that song. It's gonna be in my head all day. I'm like, wow, well, I definitely don't look like Ms. Robinson that they're talking about. We need a Black version. I'm gonna do a remix. There's the mic, Rob. Love you. I'm opening up these mics for a reason, y'all. I want to hear it. Look at Miss Beecham. Miss Beecham was my photographer. I gotta, yes, she was. But see if I can find it. I just posted, look. This is my Facebook page. Y'all see the picture? Can you see?
Beautiful.
Nice.
Oh,
beautiful.
Lovely.
That's somebody else.
Exactly. Who that? Like the I know, but like this, that was like that's the recent one. That's the mature one. But I put a picture up on Facebook that really expressed how I felt. But I felt like I needed to make sure that I posted. Look, but this is the one. This is how I was really feeling.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Look at him.
Beautiful gown.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what that face says?
I'm happy.
What's that? Yes, indeed.
It's simply gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
It is.
They all are gorgeous. What can I tell you?
Y'all are so sweet. Y'all just,
Heck, Jay,
that's a blessing to be
Jay,
able
can
to
I
share
borrow
that
that
with you.
outfit when I get married?
Definitely.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna be able to make. And I know Jenny's like she's so sure I can't even show you how tall she is. Like she's down here. You can have and then you can have like a really long train, like all the way. Like 3 or 4 people, you can have all of that. But it is. Oh, thank you, Mr. Jones. Thank you. I tried to get Mr. Jones married off today. You know what happens when people get married? I'm gonna get all y'all married off. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with you, Miss Dickens. I'm gonna start with
I'm
you.
ready.
Oh, Lord.
I'm ready. She ready.
Congratulations to you.
Oh, you ready? All right. All right. Both of y'all ready. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but Miss Dickens is ahead of you, Benita. You know, look, Miss Dickens. One day, a couple years ago, when I hadn't met Michael yet, Miss Dickens said, "It's nothing like having someone to share your life with." I said,
Uh-oh.
"Oh."
That's true. That's right.
That sounds like a
I said,
movie.
I said, "What's going on in retirement world?" Oh, oh, girl.
I tell you.
But it has to be the right somebody. We
Yes,
don't want just
indeed.
anybody. We want the
Yes.
right somebody.
That's
Yes,
right.
and look, that's funny that both of y'all are Miss Dickens is a retired nurse, so that's a good
Right.
sign. Oh, Benita,
Hey.
I'm gonna get. Oh yeah, see, maybe the key is retirement.
All right, I'm ready. We're gonna talk tomorrow about that, okay?
That's right. Exactly. Retirement, like this topic.
All
Diddy,
right.
how you doing, Mr. Lewis? Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, so sweet. God is good. Oh, look at Miss Rose. Look, I'm like, Rosita, why are you so quiet? She's like, you don't have my microphone open. Exactly. Look at that.
Evening, JB.
that.
That picture, I just have to say, with the background with you and Michael, when I first saw that picture, it just like made me tear up because I could see all the emotion on your face that just said everything. So kudos to the
Amen.
photographer because she captured the moment.
And look, of course, that was my child that caught that. Like before Loretta could even get her stuff caught up. Like I was like noticing, I was like, wow, we hadn't even exchanged rings yet. That's like, look, look exactly. I was like, oh, Michael doesn't even have his ring on, so we hadn't even. I was, but when I looked at it, I was like, whoa, I was so excited.
Those are the best.
But the light, like, yeah, it was great. It's good. You know, I tell you, like, on tonight's topic, like, that relates to that, is just that a big part of financial planning, life planning, marriage planning, everything is like about the emotions that are attached to it. You know, just in researching, like, about what about retirement goes farther than money, and we talk about things in Afroeconomics that go beyond the simplicity of money, because there's so many parts of our life that are bigger than money and they still impact your wallet. But retirement planning and life planning is just not entirely financial. And I hope that when I posted on Friday the video, the last interview that I did with Channel 6 on on retirement planning, and like around half of the people that retire are retiring before they expected to retire. Can you feel me on that? Do y'all see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the job, they lost the job, or a family member got ill, or the job was ended, or things like that. Like it's not what we expect.
Mm.
You know, it's not like where you're like planning. You know, I remember, with my father, that his kidneys were failing. And the doctor was like, Dr. Bryan, I really feel that you need to stop working. And my dad was like, I'm not gonna stop working, and it wasn't until he really enjoyed his work.
Wow.
And it was at 65, like approaching 66, that he finally decided to stop working. But the interesting thing was that I don't know if it was a good decision. I don't know if he was actually emotionally ready, you know what I mean, to stop working. And as he would always say, like, I'm a lot like him, like you're so much, he was like, you're so much like me. I just really want you to learn to enjoy yourself. Or at that particular time, he was telling me, to take care of myself, to take care of my health, and I think he had finally retired then, but I wasn't, especially after, my daughter was born, and I, my husband left the family, and I went through a divorce. I had no idea that I would ever be this happy. I'm happier today than I've ever been in my entire life. But at that particular time, I didn't think about that. I just thought, how am I going to do this? I've never thought about being a single parent, and I got this business, and I have all these employees depending on me, and I got a 4-week-old by myself. And literally, I knew nothing. I hadn't, I was not that one that people would leave their kids with. You know how a lot of people, when they have children, they know, they got like, I kept my, I was the youngest. There were the kids coming along, and it was like, whoa, so I definitely, with him saying that, to me, just changed my life. And I started really seriously thinking about, I have to be healthy, because for AfroEconomics to work, I have to look at my life beyond just working, just, making money, just getting more and more and more clients, doing more and more events. You're stacking. So one thing I have told you all, in order to not, because by my age, my father had several chronic illnesses. And I have worked my whole life to make sure that that does not happen. But I start the day with giving a part of that day to my health, but it will get out of control if we don't. And now this moment is for someone out there who is not taking care of their health. And there's no way that you want to go into your retirement and all you do is go to the doctor. Have you had friends that have had to do that?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
all they're doing, you know what I'm saying? All they're doing. And my goal is that I admire Warren Buffett and his friend Charlie and all these old white men that are in financial services, and they're like in their 90s. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? That's why I married somebody younger than me, because I want to be here a long time. A long time.
Go ahead, girl.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? I was here a long time. They'd be like, she's still here.
Michael,
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
You know what? But I just want to be bringing the knowledge so that I can stay. Yes.
You don't have to tell
my name.
people that he's
I want
younger
to be able
than you. You don't have to tell people that he's younger than you, because you look just as young as he does.
That's so good. That's so good. But but that's like, you know what I mean? But that is like, you know what I mean? The truth is, y'all know how honest I am. I'm totally transparent. That, you know what I mean? I definitely have a plan of staying healthy. You know what I mean? I want to be here a long time. I want to work a lot till I take my last breath. And I accept that. Like, I want to work like, that other people who, the more we learn, the more we do this, the more I have to offer you. So I started in this, providing financial information in my 20s. So I'm in a position to have so much knowledge between 9/11 and the Great Recession, and all of these experiences that I'll be able to share with you and your children and your children's children, if we begin to focus on the non-financial stuff as well as the financial stuff. And it's hard, isn't it?
Yes.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard having all of that. Like, I got to go out here and make this money. And then I also, she's telling me I need to, make sure I take care of myself. And, I can't sit there, and then, and just eat whatever I want to eat. I was telling Ms. Richardson this morning, I was like, when you're sensitive, like me and her are, to different types of foods, that we almost have to become obsessed about what touches our mouth. Like where it's like, you know, people don't even want to be around you. It's like, but I'm not. Like there were these ladies on Facebook where I said something and I said, oh, I don't eat sweets. And they were like, you better make sure you get a wedding cake. And I said, oh, there won't be any wedding cake. You know what I'm saying? She was like, what? And I was like, oh no, like that's not even. And then they were like, yeah, yes, you are. And then my family, my sister, the physician, we're gonna get her, sent me a box, me and Michael, a box of Georgetown cupcakes. The big box, like, and but I did not eat near one. You know, like that to me, like is not celebratory for me to do something that I know might take me a couple of weeks to feel better from. I'm that sensitive. No, like sugar, in my opinion, is right up there with like any other toxic thing that we could eat. That's how serious it is. And I have we have a member who is an executive at Philip Morris, and he said, I don't understand why they are always attacking smoking when sugar has killed more people than anything else. So we, you know, how as we think about, you know, not working, especially like the overwhelming majority of you all have corporate, you know, and government jobs. Like you have these big time jobs. You take it for granted, but you have a big time job when you're bringing home 6 digits, you know what I'm saying? And all you have to do is get up and get to work. You never think about that? Like you don't even think about it. Like, you know exactly what you have to do in order to get that. So all you have to do is make that and do the right thing with that long enough, you know, and then make sure you take care of yourself along the way so that you can enjoy it. Because the most jacked up thing that we can do, and especially for those of us that have our own business, the most jacked up thing that we can do is adapt some of those entrepreneur bad habits, right? And then it makes it so hard for you, you know, to, you know, actually enjoy any of the things that you know, that you put in all that time for. So we have to think about how you want your future to look. So if I'm saying I really want to do this, you know, forever, I want to be live streaming from the ocean front, like, you know, and talking about, you know, investment strategies, you know, forever, then what do you and I, what do we have to do, you know, non-financial, in order to make sure that that happens?
Well, you have to be disciplined, definitely, like you said. If you know you can't tolerate sugar, then you better not eat sugar, not even
That's
in
right.
moderation,
That's right.
if that's what it requires for
That's
you.
right. That's right.
But the discipline is, you know, that's it.
That's right. That's right. But the you know, like you are such a like a moderate, like you're a moderate, you know, like you know, Miss Hayes, you're like you're so like this and this, you know what I'm saying? You're so balanced.
I
You know
can,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
everything about you is like balance, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I
You know,
believe in working hard and playing hard. I do.
exactly. That is so you. But I feel like that type of blessing, you know, is truly reserved for those in corporate America.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, don't y'all see it? Like,
It is.
you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all get to
Yeah.
like you have like this like I have some of you who have like 5 weeks vacation. 5 weeks vacation. So like that will definitely create for you a balance. But what I wonder about sometimes, look, Miss Cheryl Fleming, sometimes I wonder, even if I was doing that and I had 5-week vacation, what would I do? I'd probably like work somewhere during that time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm gonna work on this project, or oh, I got that part-time job. Oh, so it's like you don't really even know, like if that, because definitely a challenge among this list of non-financial things that we have to consider is that a lot of retirement is emotional. So when I say to you, I really don't want to. Like, I want to be like Warren Buffett. I want to be bringing this Black financial empowerment until the last Black person on earth is also a multimillionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like that might say to someone, she is very emotionally attached to her work.
Mhm.
But what you're doing is you're giving service to the world, which is different than working.
Yes.
True.
Basically, because working for, the people in corporate jobs, unless they're in a service industry, are they're giving their talents to the benefit of profit. Whereas when you're doing service work, it's for the benefit of people. And that gives you a feedback that you don't get from profit making.
It should be, right? It
Yeah.
should be. And I feel like that's a lot of the challenge, because I agree with you, Pastor Bozeman, that we should all feel that we are just here in order to serve. And I do feel like someone had put on Facebook that I remember when it would snow like this, and I would go outside and they would make $100 or more, just doing people's, driveways and stuff like that. And
Right.
he's like, these kids, they just sit in the house now, And the brother who was saying that, he's now a grown man and has his own business and has his own kids and things like that. And he was saying that he goes up to some people that he'll help now or whatever. Maybe he was doing that also. And he was saying that he went to this house and this grown woman was in the house and her man was in the house and her son was in the house, and she still was hiring someone to clean her snow. And it was like, he said, like, he was like, what? You know what I'm saying? What is going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like that. And I was explaining to him that I feel that certain people are born with a desire to serve others.
That's right.
And certain people just are not. And to me, that is the gift of true entrepreneurship. Because I truly believe, as did Jesus say, that I would do what I do for no pay at all. I truly would. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like but we live in a world that says, this is how you make more money. This is how you make more money. You know what I'm saying? Like, just what you do, and a lot of times that's not connected to service. So when I tell people, this is how we double our income, I totally connect it to my natural instinct that you have to help more people. If you want to help make more money, you have to serve more people. But not everybody, you know what I mean, has that need. Like, they just don't. And you're right. And I even feel like if you're a gadget maker, or you make toasters, or you make grills, or you make, even if you're an inventor, it still should be about this invention is of service to people. And it's not brought home enough, to us. So then, like you said, then because we don't, then we have to figure out, like, how do I get out of here? And I can appreciate that, because a lot of people have jobs where they do not like the mentality or the commitment of the employer. Like, they don't like the way that employer makes money. They're trying to figure out, how do I get out of here? So if we look at the 5 stages into retirement, the first stage of retirement is pre-retirement. Like Benita was saying, like, this is where when you're coming up to retirement, those couple of years, as you're approaching it, you want to start figuring out, what is my retirement about? What is it going to look like? How do I financially prepare for it? But most importantly, emotionally, what is the best way for me to be able to transition to retirement without all the drama and without the fear? But as I was saying in that interview about retire, most people retire that unexpectedly. The earlier we start doing this pre-retirement, the better, because you might be halfway in your pre-retirement. You might be thinking, well, I'm not going to retire for 5 years, so I won't talk to JB. But it should be, I'm going to retire in 5 years. I need to talk to JB about this, and how to make sure that I transition to retirement smoothly. And the best way is to get it, to prepare for it.
The sooner the better.
The sooner the better. So true. I mean,
because without that emotional transition or preparation, people die when they retire.
yes,
It just kills them.
yes, yes. Because and I've seen it. Unfortunately, I've seen it, and and then a lot of I've seen it, and that's why we talk a lot about the bad habits or whatever habits that we might have that are pulling us down. Even though it might be uncomfortable to think about it, when we're together as a family, this is a time for us to address it. What are these things that are pulling me down that I don't want to take with me into retirement? And I keep seeing during the COVID period, and I don't know if you all have noticed that there is a push of alcohol. There's more bars that have opened up.
Yep.
There's more. Have you seen it? There's more and more. When I watch the news in the morning, especially the local news, they even do commercials. I mean, not commercials, interviews about bars.
Yeah.
Such a bar is doing this, and such a draft house is having this as a news story. I've never seen that in my life. So, I think that there's a lot of people who are currently retired, and then COVID hit them unexpectedly, and they went into phase 3 before they could enjoy phase 2. Phase 2 of retirement is you get into retirement, you just retired, and you're in the honeymoon stage. You know what I'm saying? Like me, talking about, oh, this is the happiest I've ever been in my life. So you just really, you know what I'm saying? You're just really excited. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna ride it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ride it. And and it's real, that is the feeling that people get when they first retire. Benita gonna be like, yeah, JB, tell me the numbers. Oh my God.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? And then she goes into phase 3, which is disappointment. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
These guys, they crazy. What's wrong with them? You ain't tell me nobody. These guys are crazy, dude. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? But she gets into the reality of it that, and imagine if you walked and you said, I'm gonna get out of here, I'm gonna go on Tom join a cruise, then I'm gonna so-and-so, and then COVID comes.
Amen. Yes.
And then COVID, so they keep talking about disappointment and depression with young people. Goodness gracious, the young people got everything in the world to look forward to. I can't imagine that after you retired, you know what I mean? Because you're excited about doing things and you can't even go anywhere now.
Without the house.
Anywhere, you're right.
That is, so this, I think that is probably, very important for us. And that's why I encourage my retired, members of AfroEconomics to make sure that you participate, that we talk with each other, that you express yourself, that you come on camera. You know what I mean? It's not for anything about my ego. My ego wants to sit here and close the microphones up. But my heart says, these microphones need to be open. We need to be talking to each other. We need to be expressing each other. That's what God told me to do. So that's why over this last year, you know what I mean? I said, it is very important that I stick to this, that I encourage everybody to put on their cameras and that you get outside your comfort zone and that you do this. And then, you know, it's like, what is wrong with her? But I mean, you know, I tell people all the time, because I can tell when I'm talking to them, if they're in that disappointment stage. No, and they go, well, everything is fine here. And, you know, this and, you know, nah. Let's make it better. Let's make it better. So whatever you can do, you know, get around new people and do things, pull through the disappointment phase so that you can get to just getting reoriented. Phase 4 is like just reorienting yourself. This phase is where retirees are actively developing ideas and move towards a balanced life. That, you know, that's Pastor Bozeman. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's bringing new ideas, providing things, like during the fest. I've asked Pastor Bozeman if he'll talk about like that he has a forgiveness program. You know, so that we can, you know, doing things. He was like, you know what? We like, a lot of times, like, we just look at our life experience and we think that we've gone through what we've gone through because of some sort of, you know, desire for the world to make our life bad. No, we've gone through what we've gone through because, look, I think that's Miss Fleming. Y'all better close your microphone. Get him, Queen. Get him, Queen. You know what we've gone through and had our life experiences so that we can be of more service to everybody else.
Yes.
Right. Build wisdom.
That's right. And to me, when you retire and allow yourself to stay in a disappointment stage, you know, that it's selfish, I have to admit. Because you live longer than a whole lot of people and you've had more experiences than a whole lot of people. And there's a whole bunch of people hurting and a whole bunch of young people that need your knowledge and your experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but we sit too much. You know what I mean? That's why when you can look at, you know, the Black Panther, Judas and the Black, you know,
Black Messiah.
Black Messiah, you know what I mean? And say, dang, we ain't got nowhere. You know what I mean? If you say that and you're not doing something every day to make it different, then you're part of the problem.
Not part of the problem. If not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Amen.
Correct.
We have to
I have a
get
friend
accountable.
who is 85, who just discovered that she could help young kids read.
Amen.
And all of a sudden she's feeling 80 again.
Amen. Amen. That's so good.
That's beautiful.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
is.
Like, all of a sudden, yeah, she has a purpose. And she knows, like, these kids are sitting there struggling. You know, like we have a member, she's keeping her grandson for her daughter. And she's like, I really want to work at a daycare. And I was like, you know what, but you can start your own. And with them there with you already, you might as well, this is a good start. You know, so you already got your first customer. You know, I said, this is a start, but like, you know, and she's accounting by trade. And, you know, really by doing this, like she's really sacrificing a lot of income, but she really wants to work with kids. And I'm like, let's make it work. Let's make it work. Go on social media, tell people, I will help your child with their schoolwork. I'll get them logged in. You get them to my house, I'll get them logged in. Next thing you know, you got 10 kids sitting around the table logging in, doing their stuff. Like, you know, but it just makes, as Mr. Bozeman said, it just adds years to your life. Like, that's the legacy. Not like just the kids that we make, but it's the lives that we impact, you know, period. You know, not just, you know, those like, and the word speaks on this. Like, we can't just help people based on what pay or what income or what we're going to get back from it. You know, with the true generosity of spirit is when you're doing things because you really want to help someone and you're not sure you'll ever get anything back. Right?
JB,
Mm-hmm.
basically, I was put in that same position. I was asked through TAP to mentor women and men that have lost their husbands, their wives, their sons, their daughters, you know, in the service, that have committed suicide. And I'm like, I can't do that because I lost my husband too. I'm hurting. When I took on the position to mentor these people, I was helping myself also. So I now have 4 people that I am mentoring, you know. So I'm helping Jenny too.
Well,
Yeah.
So yes, you have to give service back.
amen.
So
Yes.
Amen.
it's
But
great.
people like, yeah, because like you're an expert at that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But life has taught you through loss to be a gift to others. You know, like and we're also, when we're gonna spend on that Sunday of the fest, that Miss Burchett, I remember, is doing a session, and Jenny, you should help with this if you have time on that day to be on the panel. She's gonna do, you know, along with Andrew, on forgiveness, but Miss Burchett's gonna talk about healing. And that's really what you're talking about, you know, Jenny. You're helping people heal. You're helping people heal. And then, you know, and a lot of times with our financial discussions, like it's not really, you know, about the money. Like we, you know what I mean? We did get the money, we put the investment in, but we talk regularly about everything else that surrounds it. Your health, you know, your family, your, you know, all of the things with taxes, you know, all of the things, you know, that go around it. So we have so much to offer. And in those discussions, that's how I get to find out like about what you can bring and help someone else with. But what safer place? Like, I want us to develop a safe place for us to go to for our resources. Because when we just need something and you just go on and you do a Google search, you know, that's fine, people pop up, but who is it? You know, like, you just, who is that? So if we can, like, well, at least I know that my friends know this person and JB knows that person, you know, they're going to be accountable. They're going to be accountable to all of us, the entire group, which Mr. Bozeman told me about, like that I'm going to continue to move forward. And his suggestion was that we set up a code, you know, a code of conduct for the businesses that are involved with AfroEconomics, so that we can have, if you use this business person, this is what you can expect from them. You know, yes, Mr. Jones, our own business network community. Yeah, so that we can, like, just, you know, and then as well as, you know, I want us to continue to move forward on our consumer advocacy stuff. You know, and then build and continue to build on our health and wealth, and making that connection. Over $250,000 of retirement money is spent on uncovered healthcare expenses, and that was pre-COVID numbers. So we can keep them out of our pocket. You know, that's a good return on your money, just keeping yourself healthy.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? That's an investment plan. Yeah, you don't know the type of money that clients have to take out to cover things to help them feel better.
Yeah.
You know, I had this client in her 80s, and they took out $30,000 for a procedure that wasn't covered by health insurance.
Oh, wow.
Which I know is connected to habits. It's connected to diet and drinking. You know what I mean? And these habits that, you know, and that 30, you know what I mean, it's not going to make better. We'll have to change it. You can't say, well, I don't, you know, I'm old and I'm going to do that. Not if you're going to spend money to feel better. If you know what I'm saying, do what you do, but don't waste your money.
Yeah.
Don't waste,
Yeah, you know, it just doesn't work. He said, Mr. Jones said that number is crazy. He said,
Mhm.
oh, $250,000? Yes, it's crazy. It's crazy. And that's a low estimate because every year, less and less is covered by your health insurance, especially for those on Medicare.
Mhm.
Like Medicare is being eaten up. Like, oh, that's not covered. Oh, that's not covered. Then you gotta buy all that other stuff. You gotta buy your prescription coverage. Then you gotta buy, all these other coverages, things. You want that? Oh, that's not covered. You gotta get the stuff. You gotta get the supplement. So you're spending money.
Yeah, yeah.
You're spending money. So we gotta make that plan now on how I can avoid that being all in. And the fifth stage of retirement is stability. Yeah, where you're not planning anymore. You're in a stable point and have fully accepted that you're in this phase of your life and you're satisfied and happy, that you're that person. And that's where I should say, you know what I'm saying? That Pastor Bozeman is definitely, you know what I'm saying? A stable, consistent retiree. Exactly. Right. Along with Jenny Jones going around and volunteering and helping people. Indeed. But Jenny will benefit, from listening in on the business, discussions on Friday where, where you see retirees like, that are actually working in their own business like you are, like you get that partnership. As well as people like myself, you know what I mean, who are, years away, but a good position. I mean, I think a good thing for after you've done all those years in a corporate environment, that you don't have to say, well, I got to go back to work for somebody part-time because I want to do something. Don't throw out the idea that you can start your own business. You've been doing something 30 years and you still don't think you're an expert at it. We really need to reconsider that, right?
Yes,
You're
definitely.
an expert. You're an expert. That's right.
Most people are intimidated by these young people that come in with all these degrees, but you can run circles around these people with their degrees because they don't really know what they're talking about.
They have the degrees, but they don't have the experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or
what the real deal is.
Absolutely.
And what is what is really a degree? Like it's only, everything that you learn is already old by the time you finish.
That's true.
I did this class this last semester, and they're always telling us like, oh, all your resources have to be in the last 5 years and blah blah blah. And they made me buy 5 books that were like 20 years old. So I feel like, why would you tell me buy all these books that can't even be used as references? You know what I'm saying for it? And then they go, refer to book blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And then get new references. You know what I'm saying? But you get a new reference. You lead by example.
A better one than that. For administrative assistant, I learned how to do all the beautiful letter headings and all the stuff like that. Next thing I knew, Apple came out. No, it came out when you press a button and a letterhead would come out for you. I'm like, what did I go to school for?
Amen. That is so true. That is so true. Like, but I remember when my dad was writing his dissertation, and if he wanted to change something, my mom would have to almost write, like, you know what I mean, the whole thing over. They would get into arguments like, oh my God, and he'd be like, well, it's just, you know what I'm saying? And she'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, but you couldn't white out, but so much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then she had, remember that the typewriter, I remember he got her electric typewriter, and like and it had like where you could do correct, like I know
Yes,
Dr.
correct.
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing your dissertation, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
On that?
But it was done.
It didn't look good.
No, it did not.
Yep. And that was 1977.
That
I
was
remember
not
when-
good.
Woo. Yeah, but
got
they
it.
were, but he was blessed because I can't imagine the guy who wasn't married to a woman with secretarial skills. You know what I'm saying? He had, you know, he would come home because he went to New York University all week, and he'd come home on weekends, and then it was work. Like it was, my mom was going to be typing for him all weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like that is crazy if you think about it. Now that same person has to sit there and type their own. You know what I'm saying? But my dad would write it all out. And my mom could type, boy. Figure it out. It's amazing. And that probably connected them in a special way.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it was hard for the rest of us hearing it, but that was probably connected.
Imagine
It's
your
her
mom.
degree too.
Yeah,
scary.
exactly. Yeah, they got through it together. You know, and you just don't realize, like, she probably took her skill for granted, but he was like, wow, this is priceless. You know what I'm
Marry
saying?
that girl.
And
Yeah.
she can type, my wife can type. He probably told all his classmates, my wife can type, my wife can I'm going, oh. They're like, oh, my
You have to
wife can
pay
type, my wife.
anybody.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I can hear, like, look, doing the Michael Jackson out the door. I'll see y'all Monday. Like, right? That's so true. It's the little thing. It is the little thing. Exactly.
Yes.
Mr. Jones says special bond. Yes, indeed. So the things, as we're, another thought to think about is, what will you do with your time? Like, that's a key thing that has really nothing to do with money. But as you think about your retirement plan, what are you going to do with this time that you're going to have? And while I was saying that, you know, my father, you know, when he retired, like he started running for political offices locally. You know, someone, you know, and then a backer said, I want you to run for office, and he wasn't even from the town. Like, and he just started running, and this, you know, God wanted somebody. It's amazing. I really never thought about it, but that's how it works. Like, businesses just find somebody that they like, and they go, I'm gonna pay for you to run for this office. And that's what they did. He paid for everything. He was like, you wanted to run, but my dad didn't win because he didn't really know anything about politics. But he was like, I would need somebody to run. We want you to run. You know, but he ran, I know. And then it was like, well, what do I do now? You know what I'm saying? And then, so then after, it was like, I don't know. And my mother wanted to live in the country, but he had been working in Philadelphia. And, you know, it was like one time ran out, and it was just nothing else to do with time. I think that's when the sickness really, you know, will become front and center.
Yeah.
Where your activity will just be going to the doctor, you know, and it just kind of like eased out, you know. And I would have loved to see him write more books, write things, and, you know, talk about it, because he would always say, I just want to do more with the Black male. I don't think we should really spend that much time talking about what I want to do. We really don't have the time. We really have to just do it. Like, I was talking to Michael about, I really want to make a movement on domestic violence against men. And I have been talking about that for years, and I just won't do it. And, you know, when he was like, you should just do it. And I don't know, it's just to be something, it has to be part of, you know, AfroEconomics, but I just feel that it has to be acknowledged that 40% of Black men are victims of domestic violence. Did you all know that?
Yeah, I knew it was up there, but you know,
I didn't know the number. Yeah.
yeah, but will
No,
you,
no.
my question is, JB, with that, I mean, finding a male that is strong enough to come out and admit that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That to me,
Yeah,
is,
but I think that that's why the number is much bigger than 40%.
mhm.
And the fact that they have a reported 40% suggests to me that the numbers may be near 80.
Yeah, probably
Because
higher. That's
most
right.
men are not going to report unless she stabbed him and the police had to be called,
Yep.
or she
Mhm.
shot him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only things really that they're talking about. They're not addressing things that with female domestic violence, where it even includes like emotional issues and things like that. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He called me ugly names. You know what I'm saying? They don't even, you know what I mean, address that with men. And I feel that there's in Black media that AfroEconomics needs to make a stand. Like when Tyler Perry comes out with a movie where a woman is beating a man, that it's not okay. Because nobody is doing that. And I've watched family members just sit there and laugh, and a woman is beating a man. But can you imagine watching a movie and men sitting around laughing at a man beating a woman?
No?
No, no.
Can't see that. They think it's the other way around. That's why.
Yeah,
And
they
that's
see it
it.
as women getting justice,
Yeah.
as
And that's
women
it.
women
And
getting
that's
payback.
it. Like I posted on my Facebook wall because Tiger Woods is a victim of domestic violence.
That's right.
And his wife was asked to speak at a graduation speaker. So I put on my Facebook wall, like, why would the school ask a woman who is an offender? She is an offender. You know what I mean? Just because she's white, the police did not arrest her. But if God forbid, a Black woman had beat Tiger Woods like that, you know what I'm saying? And then a white woman said to me, well, wouldn't you do that? And I said, are you out of your mind? No, I would not do that. I've been cheated on. You know what I'm saying? That is crazy.
Mhm.
No. And how in the world do you think beating a man, you know what I mean, is the answer? But I mean, and who would they, just because a man catches a woman, he doesn't get the right to beat her. Why does a woman get the right to beat her? And then the last one movie about something that Tyler Perry put out, and the woman beat the man to death with a bat, left him for dead. How
Wow.
is that entertaining? Pastor Bozeman, how is that entertaining? I can't find,
Wow.
I can, and then women told me in response, well, she took his money. He took her money. That's sick. That's sick.
Oh, I know
That's
what.
sick. I mean, and that's how I feel. That is how passionate I feel about that. I'm sorry I never shared that with you all before, but I swear it makes me sick. I had to turn it off. It's sick. I can't take it.
Mm.
I couldn't sit there and watch a man beat a woman. You know what I'm saying? Why in the world would I find it encouraging? You know what I mean? And then the one where Regina King like puts the oil on there and then she's
Oh,
beating.
yeah.
She is not. See, we're not allowed to laugh at that.
JB, I mean, I'm not laughing at that, but I just want to play devil's advocate for a minute because
Don't.
now, I know it, but I just, it's an emotional thing. I didn't know that. Well, I don't know much about Tiger Woods and his previous wife, but I mean, I just feel like, it's an emotional thing. If my man has done this to me and I take a bat to his arm, a leg, or whatever,
He beat him to death and left him for dead
who?
in the movie.
You
But
talking about the
in,
movie? Okay.
yeah.
I just,
Oh, I don't
Oh,
watch
but you're
Tyler
saying,
Perry.
and then Tiger Woods' wife was with the golf club.
Golf
like she
club.
hit him, and the police came there and he was bloody. That's sick. That's sick. They're
It is
undervaluing.
wrong.
They're undervaluing the Black man. Like they're
That's
just
right.
it's a part of that whole movement. And they're trying to convince us that it's all right for us as Black females to act like animals. It's not okay.
I
We do
agree,
not.
but we're talking about we are human beings first.
Yes.
And
But
so
Ray Rice was worth $30 million. His wife spit on him,
mhm.
called him names, did everything in that elevator humanly possible except for hit him. He hit her. She fell down, hit her head. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And he lost everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh
So
yeah,
he
definitely
hit
is
her.
We
not.
have two different views of that.
He hit her one time.
And
One
once is too
time.
many.
It's definitely a
He
double
hit her
standard,
one
yeah.
time. But we
Knocked her
find
out.
but we find it entertaining for a woman to hit a man 20.
Well, we'll talk about
Regina
it.
King was like, bam, bam,
Well,
bam,
we-
bam. That woman in that other movie, like, y'all, really, she was beating that man with the bat. Like, you know, that's crazy. The woman who also, Ray Rice said, if that's his name correctly, his wife should have been addressed for being drunk and for spitting on him. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know what type of emotional abuse she was bringing out of her mouth at him. And we don't know what he was thinking about his childhood or whatever he's been through. You know what I mean? When he needed to shut it up. She could have said like one thing. And that one thing, ever since he was a little kid, he's always, you know what I mean? It's been his trigger point. And he's lost his mind. But he can't do it. And she can't do it either. She can't do it either. And nobody knows your trigger point but the person you love.
That's correct.
So Tyler Perry and any of these other things, like we need to make a united voice when we all agree on it. That domestic violence against men and women
is wrong. Absolutely.
We got to. And
I agree that I definitely agree that it's wrong. I just say that the ship sailed a long time ago when they started allowing, you know, the diverse amounts of shows on TV that just, I mean, every channel, if you turn it on, you know, you're gonna see some type of violence, some type of sex, some type of whatever, because that's what sells. And that ship.
Well, we would never see it. I don't know, but I don't see us finding like a movie like that beating down a woman, and that the woman is a man beating down a woman, and then the man being the victorious one in the movie. You know, the moral of that story was he won in the end.
That's terrible.
You see what I'm saying? Like the moral of the story. Like, let's think about the one where like the Tyler Perry movie where her handicapped husband, she went back to him, remember? Faked like she was gonna take care of him and almost drowned him. That's sick.
Oh, that was the Diary of a Mad Housewife.
That's it.
But that was good entertainment.
It did show she had problems.
Yeah.
That's sick. That's sick. That is sick. You are deceptive and you're sick. And we should not allow ourselves to be displayed like that and a man become a multimillionaire by making a Black woman look like she's crazy.
Well, he does that quite often.
That's sick.
He's
like, you know,
still on the chitlin.
New thing, I don't watch any of it.
And if there was a white man making trash like that about us, we would not allow it to happen.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And somebody needs to share this video with him so he can know that there are people who do care about what you present.
Well, he puts his name on all of it.
You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, but like, you know what I mean? We have superstars.
Proud.
It's not okay to beat down Black men. It is not okay to beat down Black women. And then his movies go so far as we're coming back at the Black woman as the most aggressive. Like the man
and
hurts
most
her,
sexual.
Yeah, and the man hurts her feelings. Right? He hurts her feelings. Her pride is hurt. He takes her money. And she comes back and kills him. Like she's beating him. She tries to drown him. Like, you know what I'm saying? How is a human life equal to your pride getting hurt? We're not those people. We're not that people.
I agree that some of us are not those type of people, but there are people out here like that. He is displaying what is actually happening.
The worst part is
I don't really believe that.
And what has happened,
I don't believe
But
that.
the people, but what he's saying is that the general public finds it entertaining for a Black woman to beat down a Black man.
What's
That
really
is-
crazy
He
is that
does
his
not wanna
father beat
us
his
in a
mother.
positive
Now, I
light.
look at it as entertainment for some of it.
But it can't be, but that's what I'm
It
saying.
can't,
He's
right, it
saying
can't
that
be
we find it.
entertainment all the
It can't
time.
be entertainment anymore.
And I
In
agree.
reality,
I mean, I
his
don't watch.
father beat
I don't-
his mother.
That's exactly right. I don't watch all of his shows, but for the movies that have actually, I guess, been on the big screen or some of the plays, I mean, I can relate because a lot of those things happened in my environment. And it's not that I agree with it. I don't always agree with it, but it is a reality. It
Well,
is
it's,
a
you know what I
reality.
mean, man? That's the
Well-
problem. That's the problem, because I don't know of any domestic violence group that is actually helping Black men.
Mhm. And all realities don't need to be displayed. And that's the
Amen.
problem. We're
Amen.
displaying too
Because
much
if a
stuff.
Black, amen. Because Ms. Davis, if a Black woman did that, wouldn't she go to jail?
Of course she would.
That's the reality. That's the reality that he needs to show. That there's a whole bunch of Black women in jail for doing that. You know
Just
what
for
I'm saying? I
breaking
don't care.
windshields, you are in jail.
You know what I'm saying?
And see, and that's a major problem with him. That's what I'm saying. He's showing too much of the negative. He does not show,
Amen.
he does not put off Black people in a positive light.
Yep.
And this and the more that you showcase this is why people come over here and treat us the way they treat us.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
the movies that
Yep.
he put out and these reality shows that they let
Yep.
that little gay white man Andy Cohen get these sisters and everybody else to go on these reality shows to show their reality.
Mhm.
And if that's your reality, you need to
Yep.
go someplace behind a closed door and be sad
Amen.
about it.
Amen.
It's true.
Because it's like I don't like, but I feel like, and my thesis statement is just that those were just examples. But what I'm saying is that domestic violence, like if I were saying this about women, y'all be like, yeah, we gotta do that. We gotta do that. But we're saying this about our men, you know what I mean? And this is an outrageous challenge for Black men. And some of you have sons and you have to worry all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Miss Bussy has sons. Like, Miss Howard has a son. Like, y'all have to worry about your son being beat by a woman.
Yeah. And women are becoming so brazen, they jump up in these men's face.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes.
You're
That's
having
what
out here
happened
now.
that's what happened with Ray Rice. And it was never analyzed. It was never addressed that she was being too aggressive and she was drunk. We have to be very careful when women get intoxicated, and we need to train our daughters to make sure that they do not drink. You know what I'm saying? If you cannot handle it and you don't know how to be a social drinker, you should not be drinking. Because that is, and then men and your young men, you have to teach them that they have to stay away from drunk women.
Well, what little brothers need to learn, you're going to have to learn how to walk away from women, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to win no argument with no sister. That's a given. So you need to learn that early in life. You're not going to out-talk us. Because just like you said, we know the triggers. We're going to say something about your mama, your TT, whatever. We know how to get you. And we
Call
go
the police.
straight for
But
the
it just
jugular.
amazes me that men, But why don't, me, I think that the best thing they can do is call the police. 911.
No, no, don't call the police.
Yeah, see, I disagree with that.
That's how we get shot out.
Yes, that's how we get killed.
But if more Black men called the police on aggressive women, they would be alive. They would be alive. Like, there's a Black man, a police officer in Maryland, and that was a Black man. He was married to a white woman, and she shot him in the head and then killed herself. I'm sure he knew that she gave him warning signs before, but he did not take it seriously. And if we had increased his awareness, even as a Black cop, that brother, you are highly likely to become a victim. We're talking about 1 out of 2 Black men are becoming victims of domestic violence by intimate relationships.
Because they
They
should know
clarify.
at the beginning who they're getting involved with.
That's
And they
right.
don't, and you
That's
don't
right.
know, and the women don't know. So we can't say that the men should know because it's very hard. I would never think, if I were a man, how in the world would you really think that your white wife, who's being nice to you, you probably left your Black family for her, would actually shoot you in the head and then kill herself?
I think it works
Yeah.
both ways, though.
They just,
I
they
agree
just
with
wouldn't
that.
think. They
It
just
works
wouldn't
both
think so.
ways. It works both
It
ways,
works both
JB.
ways. Yeah.
That's
It
right.
works both ways. We do. Well, he wouldn't know. You wouldn't know if he was crazy, and she wouldn't know if he was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
know what I mean?
and
He
then
wouldn't know. I don't
then
think.
too,
I mean, we.
I think you forget also about some of these women who have been subjected to physical abuse for years and years, and then they
Well,
just finally lose it,
Yep.
and that's what happens. So I
But
think it works both
yeah.
ways. I don't agree with violence coming from either person, but I have
Amen.
been a
Right.
victim of abuse, so
Mhm.
I
Right.
know what it's like,
That's
and
right.
it works both ways.
Yeah.
And if I'm a victim,
But the
I'm gonna
point
fight.
is,
If
the
I'm a,
point is that our Black men do not have any support system. If a woman is a domestic violence victim, she could call YWCA, and everybody is going to be more open to helping her. But if a man is being beat down for years and she's calling him nothing and telling him he ain't nothing, you ain't gonna never be not, which for a woman that would be called emotional abuse. And if she decided to shoot him in the head one day, she would possibly get away with it because she would say, I told all my friends, he told me I was nothing every day. But the guy, he sits there more likely just taking it every day.
then I'd have to question what's wrong with him. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
right.
We have
I'm
to
sorry.
teach better-
I'd just
we
like
have
to
That's
teach
right.
say,
people better
JB,
skills.
Right. Just
We
like
have
I had the opportunity to leave, he does the same thing.
Absolutely.
Right.
Like,
And what's
Yeah.
you don't
keeping
have
him
to.
there?
Yeah.
What's keeping him there?
And when
Is
he
it the
leaves,
money?
and when he leaves, what?
Well, when he
The
leaves,
same reason that women stay.
But see,
People
we
stay in
have to.
abusive.
That's what I'm saying. People have to be taught not to get into these type of off relationships. You got to see the signs. We can't save people who don't want to be saved. I can't do but so much for you.
there
We
we
can
go.
give you skills.
Well, you know, I wonder, like, what are we saying? Are we saying that?
JB,
Yes.
okay, I've been hearing you and I was just listening and I wanted to say, well, we'll have to look, it is abuse from women that men deal with. There's also intimate partner violence that men on men abuse one another also. And for me, you're raising a deeper issue than men who are abused by their partners, the women in their lives or men in their lives. You're raising an issue about men who have been whipped and beaten by their Black mothers. Interesting things that we're raising. What is the reason a man would stay and be abused? Do we relish in them being whipped and beaten, and the Black mom is said to be tough and hard? So it raises really big issues on what is the reason a man would stay and be abused. Maybe he's taught that from his home life, parenting. We need to revisit, what do we teach Black men is Black women love as Black mothers?
Amen.
And that
That's
comes
why I
into,
say that you are absolutely 100% correct. Your point is well taken.
Ms. Williams, like, and I thank God for you because you're a counselor. Would you feel that what I'm saying, having a support network for male victims of domestic violence, do you see what I'm saying, that there
oh
is a
yes,
need
I
for that?
think that it is addressed, but a small amount. There's some support for men, but it's in a small amount. And you're absolutely right. That's an area that we can always use more support for
Right.
anyone that's being abused, especially men.
Well,
But I
Miss
do
And I
have to
think
tell
that
you
at
that
least,
young millennials are very much aware of how to file a report as young men for women who they feel abuse them, whether it's justified or not. They're very much aware, millennials are, that the first person that files that report can have your spouse or your partner removed from the home,
That's right.
as well as your children will be
Mhm.
taken from the home that evening as well. So I found that young men are aware of their rights.
That's
And the
good.
first person to file the report is the one that's seen as the abuser.
Amen. So
And
to
the,
tell
and
a
the
young
state
man
law
to not
kicks in.
call, yeah, because so to tell them don't call the police is
Oh,
wrong.
they do. Yeah.
They need to call the police.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, pray because I had a friend who his wife stabbed him, like, well, pulled a knife on him. You know what I'm saying? And when he called the police, you know what I'm saying? They didn't even care. They just allowed her, you know what I mean? They didn't even like lock her up, didn't take her in, you know what I'm saying? And it was like his hand got cut trying to get her to, you know what I mean, put the knife down and everything. That's horrible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That they don't, when you're standing up there and you're a big black man, you know what I'm saying? It's like they think that there's some sort of knife proof vest on you.
Yeah.
You know, like, what's wrong with you? Why would you call us to tell us that? You know what I'm saying? Basically saying, you know, you could have knocked her out.
Right.
Then he would have got under the jail.
That's right.
That's sick. You know what I'm saying? And then that they need to be trained about domestic violence against black men. And like you said, what type of abuse did they go through as a child that allows them? But this is the type of empathy that we receive as women that our brothers don't receive. And then when we don't get the response, like, you know, from our brothers that we anticipate, that we expect, or they get locked up, or, you know what I'm saying, they end up, you know, becoming a criminal, you know what I'm saying? It would go, golly, he was a good dude, you know what I'm saying? And you don't even understand, you know what I'm saying, that we're not providing them the emotional support to recover from things.
But
So he
JB,
goes, well, if I go over there and those are my kids, like, even, and you're thinking about kids involved, and he's already struggling, working at some, you know, minimum wage job, and he knows that if he gets out of that abusive relationship, he got to pay child support for them kids.
but JB, we cannot get our brothers to even go to the doctor. The same concept. Now, how are we going to get them to reach out for help when someone is abusing them? They're not going to do it.
Yeah,
They're
but you
just
just
not
have
gonna
to,
do it.
well, first of all, we have to make sure it's available.
Yes.
You know, we have to figure out a way to, first of all, stop finding it entertaining. You know what I'm saying? And then also, like, because I mean, really, whenever I see anybody hit, you know what I mean? Anybody, it's excruciating to see a man in a movie hit a woman, you know what I'm saying? And he's got to be the villain. You can't be the superstar of the movie and end victoriously after beating someone to death. You know what I'm saying? That's the victory. Like, so we need to like get that type of thing as out of it being acceptable in our community.
Saying to address it first, to bring it to the front.
That somebody out here doesn't like it because they're sitting there. Here we go. Oh, honey, sit down and watch this movie with me. Who in the world wants to see that? So Tyler Perry is not even addressing, you know what I mean, the possibility of a heterosexual these sitting down together, you know what I mean, couple, and enjoying his movie. It's not even addressing that. Why would Michael want to sit with me and watch some woman beat her man up? Goodness. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then we sit there, like, you know, one brother was saying on Facebook, they was you know, he was like, yeah, we going to the Black History Museum. Me and my son, they watching Color Purple, all on the bus. Like, this was his generic post. This was his generic post on Facebook to everybody. Not an inbox. Yeah, this is good. I said,
we love Oprah. We're tired of that.
I said, what does Color Purple have to do with the Black History Museum?
Amen.
Why you got say something like that? I said, I'm just saying, if I was sitting there watching Color Purple with my black son, next to me, I would not want to see it.
That's
I said, what are
right.
you talking about? I said, listen to what it's about. The man raped the little girl. Good God. Like,
Obsessed.
what in the world?
That's true.
So JB, so tell me this, JB, how do you feel about, how do you feel about the movie, How They See Us? Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
And it took me, that movie came, well, it was a documentary on the Central Park 5, but it took me 2 years to watch it.
I saw that.
But think about it now. So it took me 2 years to watch that movie, because those types of movies just really send my blood pressure up. And I watched it.
But who were you mad at when you watched it? Like, who did you get mad at?
You actually can get mad at a number of people, because it goes from the families just being totally caught off guard, and then you got a system that certainly it was not designed for us, it's designed to put us under, and so there were many phases that was really just frustrating.
I was only mad at one person.
No,
the movie didn't matter to me, because the only person responsible for me is my parent.
Okay,
when you're a little kid, the only person that teaches you to tell the truth is your parent.
And I agree.
Your parent has to teach you that I don't care if they tell you they're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
You better not lie. They gotta tell you, we got to have Black people so committed to truth that they'll die for it. Because if not, the system is going to continue to kill us. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. We got to move away from what's my easy way out, and we got to start saying. So if anybody should have beat some butt, it should have been them addressing that father who told that boy to lie. That's the moral of the whole movie. That's the moral of the whole movie. And they kept talking about, oh, the system, oh, the so-and-so, oh, the this and that. The system is the system. And I wasn't even mad at Donald Trump. We just started because I told everybody I know that if there were 5 white men and they raped a Black woman and I had the money, I would have run the same ad. So there's no reason. If you have 5 white men that confess to raping a Black woman in the park and nobody's going to do anything about it.
First, they were children.
I don't care if they were little kids. I don't care what they were. That we have to be committed to the truth, and the truth is the truth.
We don't just become an adult.
But I'm telling you, if the kid confesses, and I don't know anything about the confession, I don't know what they did in the room. If that kid,
that's the problem.
That is the truth, though. That is the truth, and we need to start focusing on truth. That the truth is that we are responsible for ourselves.
Yeah, but JP, you have grown men that confess under pressure from the police.
And that's because they've been taught that it's okay to punk out. But what if we were taught you don't punk out?
We have to hold this one.
I disagree with that, but go ahead.
No, if you're taught to tell the truth, you're taught to tell the truth. And the only reason that young man lied was because a grown man told him to lie.
Well, the truth rarely sets you free.
The truth sets you free, because I would rather die.
The truth wasn't going to set them free. It wasn't, because they had already had a preconceived notion that that those kids did that.
And when they told the truth, they said, but by lying, they went in. They accepted that. I don't care what you think of me, as long as I tell you the truth. And if you don't find out the truth about me, because there's a whole bunch of people I'm sure that lie about me all the time. But if it takes until my death for them to discover the truth, then that is what it is. Because they lied on Jesus, but he still stood by his truth. We cannot go to church and talk about how we Jesus and we're going to be Christ-like and this and that, and you don't even know how to be Christ-like. Christ said, I'm going to take this hit. He didn't come. He didn't say, I ain't got, I ain't, that's not me. I ain't say that. That's not it. He did not do that.
And
So what's
Trump
the use
didn't
of
tell
going
the
and
truth.
teaching them? He teaching them to get in the choir and all that. You know what I'm saying? And this and that. You know what I'm saying? No, because the majority of those young men did not lie. They stood by their truth.
Right.
Okay.
One,
That's
Jamie,
right.
one,
Let's go to
one.
retirement.
one lied. One lied. And that messed us all up.
We're
Look
going
at
to have a talk about this one.
Yeah.
Look at Judas. Look at Judas and the Messiah. All they had to do was find one brother who was willing to sell out. And
That's
look at what
true.
happened.
The
Look at
father.
Emmett Till. Look at Emmett Till. Now
Uh-oh.
they're researching the Black people involved in the death of Emmett Till. They were saying the only person, watch, the only person, because they can't, the white guys were already found innocent. They can't go back and get them. So now they're reinvestigating it and they're looking at the Black men that worked for the white man to press charges against them. It's going to come out. And the only person who will get charged for that is, but if they have been taught, Fannie Lou Hamer. Fannie Lou Hamer gets arrested. They bring her into the jail cell because she's trying to go vote. They find two Black men that are in jail already, and the white men tell them, beat her to death. They got tired. They beat her, and they beat her, and they beat her. They were tired, they were exhausted. Then the cops took over and beat her the rest of the way. She died from injuries from that. What if those Black men had stood by their truth and said, kill me, because I'm not going to beat that Black woman. Kill me. That's the kind of guts we have to have, and we got to give it to our kids. And we got to give it to our kids and say, son, you can't confess to no crap like that, and the mama should have stepped up. My son ain't do that. They think you can't confess to some horrible stuff. You can't do it. And then, I don't care how many people have done it. I don't care anything. I think that the only thing that's going to create change for our community is for us to get that type of commitment to truth and to our success. But, and it's like, that's like an easy, like, how would I be mad? How would I be mad at anybody else when the child said, I did it?
It's a child.
We have
the child is a child. There's so many pieces to that, JB, though.
But that took a long time for them to, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I think that we need to teach them that when you get to a certain age, they're not seeing you that way. So just because you're 15, you have to make sure that you're 15, you're 6 feet tall, you know what I'm saying? And you're sexually active and you confess to a rape. So how in the world, and it wasn't even that they were beat down. The father told him to confess to rape. And we should be upset about that. Because I can't control what Donald Trump does, because I'm telling you, and I'll repeat it. Honestly, I would have done the same thing if 5 white men raped a Black girl. Now 5 white boys.
Only one confessed.
Only one confessed.
No, we don't know all that, because when they put it out into the media, they said they confessed.
That was the first time they lied.
What we're talking about is all I would have known is that 5 white guys confessed to raping this Black girl.
Well, the one that Automatics had, he got off. So that's what I said. There's a lot of moving parts to the story.
Yes.
It's a lot of moving parts. I feel sorry for them. But I see what you're saying,
I think that I think that it is right that if I'm sitting there and some kid comes up to me and says, we did it. You know what I'm saying? And he says, we did it. What exactly were they supposed to do? He said, we did it. And the father never came out and said, you know what, I told the guy, I know you're afraid. Yeah, Sherry, you're afraid. You know what I mean? I know you're afraid, but he did it not because he was afraid. Like if they had cornered him and did it, but no, the father told him to do it. And that's their movie. This isn't like a lie. The father told him to do it. We have to accept responsibility.
I do
for
accept.
that.
I do accept the
The
fact that
boy
those
even
parents.
hated his father.
Yes.
He hated his father to
Yes.
death. He
He
was like,
still
no,
hates
because
him.
that was horrible.
He
He
said he
wasn't going
still.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still hates him. He's dead.
Yeah.
The father's dead. But I mean, that makes no sense
But
for
he.
us to not
Yeah.
understand what the boy is saying. Like he's
Yeah.
saying,
Oh, I
you
understand.
never told me to do that.
Yeah. He said, and just to the point, he said that I have 4 boys of my own and 2 girls. He said, I would never tell my children to confess to something
Amen.
that they
So
did
he
not do.
feels what I'm saying too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying? He
feel
feels
you
what
on
I'm
that.
saying too. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's
I
the only
understand, but that's
saying
not what
that
happened.
the only person
You know,
that I'm mad at was that father who made him do it. That was
that's
sick.
true.
That
That's
was
true.
sick.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's sick. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know where the mother was. Like she slept on that.
Well, that was part
And
of the
I'm not gonna
problem too.
blame it like I ain't gonna
She
blame
didn't
it on
have
her,
the
but
money
that was
to do anything. The parents
horrible.
were.
But
They were poor.
Right.
They couldn't hire a lawyer. They were poor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, and I think the father
they didn't need a lawyer
probably
after
did
you
it
confess.
because so the boy can get he thought that if they confess, maybe he'll get a lighter sentence.
Yes,
You
that's
know.
what happened. Yes.
But look at how
And
quickly we moved from protecting black males to talking about the Central Park Five. I don't even know how we got there.
Well,
But I'm telling you,
well,
whenever
because you were talking about Tyler Perry movies, and I just wanted to get it
oh, that's right.
because
But I think that we do that because you want to talk about something more comfortable.
no,
You know, that we don't want to talk about like the pain that black men are going through. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't dismiss the pain. I really don't. My thing is, there are, like I've always said, there are just a multitude of things that we could talk about and try to do better on as a black community. And
but I specifically feel a need for domestic violence against black males. Like I just feel that and maybe it's from my father channeling in me or something, you know what I'm saying? But I just feel that it needs to be, it deserves to be, they deserve to be loved and supported.
yeah. Yes, because we can teach guys, to watch out for certain triggers. When you see sisters start acting certain kind of way, then you need to back up off of her. We need to learn how to, and that's for all of us, even for men. And when people start displaying certain type of behaviors, you need to slow walk them. You can't go you can't go cold turkey on them, but you start backing off from them because people got a lot of ticky boom in their head.
That's
right.
Yeah.
And stuff. So it's scary and dangerous out here.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I feel like it will be, and a lot of like, like just say, I mean, there's really so many dangers for men staying in dangerous relationships, with people, because a woman can call the police on a man that she doesn't like anymore. You know what I mean? And like I knew someone in law enforcement, and his wife was actually building a case for him to get him out of the house. You know what I'm saying? And he, found it, in emails, where she was purposely, and that was the only thing that saved him. You know what I'm saying? Doing stuff to try to get him out. Because she was having a relationship with someone else at work. It's horrible. You know what I'm saying? Horrible. You know what I mean? That's domestic violence. So these are like you said, there's certain things that they're, you know what I mean? And we're totally, as a community, have skipped over that because we've just decided that black men, don't like, they're in here, they're talking, but here we are, you know what I mean? Women, we dominated again. Like not one of our men in here like has said anything. Like not even Pastor Bozeman. He's like, I can't even say nothing. They ain't even gonna let me. You know what I'm saying?
But that kind of to me speaks to the point of it's like the passion. You've got the passion, but the men, they also somebody on
I
their
know Mr.
side.
Jones, like, it won't let me turn on your mic. It won't let
Kenneth.
me turn on your mic. I don't know why. I know. Every time it says like I have to
I'm
make
in
you
the
into a
thread.
panelist.
Kenneth Jones.
Something about updating. I think you have to update your version of Zoom. That's, it does that every time. I would love for you to talk. Exactly. But but indeed, but that's just something for us to. I'm gonna continue to pray about that. But
Well, I really appreciate your commitment to truth. And there needs to be an understanding that we're in a society that glorifies violence,
Oh, yeah.
especially against Black men.
Yes.
Yes,
You're
Black
so right.
men. And then
that
you saw that white football player, he beat down that Black girl that he was dating. And the police, he tried to kill her. He left her for dead in the bathroom. I don't know how she got to call him, you know, and it didn't even hardly make the news.
Wow.
Ray
I didn't see
touched
that.
and they call that white man is a free agent. And
Yeah.
Ray hit his wife one time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he beat her. The girl had broken arm and everything. He choked her till she passed out. Put his hand down her throat. He was 300 pounds, almost 7 feet tall. The police report said that he resisted arrest. He is out free. They said he resisted arrest and wouldn't let them take him down. They said
When did that happen, JB? Is
just
that
a couple
recent?
weeks ago.
Last week. That was last week.
Oh, wow.
No, it was before, longer than
Where
that.
in DC? Where? What state?
He was playing for Seattle. It was like Super Bowl. Wasn't it, Miss Davis? Yeah,
Washington.
it was right before or right after the Super Bowl because they didn't play in it.
Yeah,
You
it was before the Super Bowl.
Right before. And I'm telling you, it didn't even really make, you know what I'm saying? It went in the news and went out.
Never heard it.
A little, and he was dating a little Black girl. And like, you know, they ain't even covered. But let that have been a Black man that did anything.
Oh, he been on prime time.
Low, and the girl, I mean, they said her face was messed up.
Wow.
Everything. She was almost dead. That was attempted murder. That's not domestic violence. That's attempted murder. They gave him like a domestic violence charge, or, you know, that's crazy. You tried to kill her.
I wonder if she's going back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Jones said her face.
I
was
hope
messed
not.
up. He said it.
I hope not, but you know, when we get into these off relationships, we go right back.
Terrible.
No, but that would be an aspect of a battered woman syndrome, is what it would be. She's not in her right mind.
Yeah,
I agree with this.
It's always deeper than that.
Horrible. Horrible. You know what I'm saying?
And see that goes back to JB, what you saying about truth. And if we have truth, we would learn to have truth about ourselves and see ourselves as being valuable. And don't allow people to judge you and tell you about yourself. You know who you are.
And then like get our kids out of victim mode. Like that movie American Skin, the young Black man was saying that I have a right to record on my camera. But in the, you know, and then they killed him, shot his son in the back, murdered his son. So when Vietnam vets, they go in, they take over the police station, and the Black men have an opportunity to shoot the guy who killed his son in the head. He chooses not to. He says, I'm not going to shoot you in the head. He walks out of the police station and they shoot him in the head. That is a true way to show you better stay in your place. Like Spike Lee should be ashamed of himself for making that type of movie. You know what I'm saying? It was like something from Gone with the Wind era that y'all know. that even when you get the chance, you ain't gonna shoot me. You see what I'm saying? Like, even if I killed your child, your child don't need to be trying to record. I told your child not to record. You know what I'm saying? And when you had a chance, you ain't even do it.
A lot of us are like
Oh
that.
my God.
We're like that. We're very forgiving people. We really are. We give chances over and again.
I don't even know
Not
if it's
me. I'm still
forgiveness.
asking God to
That's
help
not
me.
even forgiveness. There's something psychologically in our mind that we're not going to do that to white folks. What white folks do to us, we will not do to them. That is ingrained in their mind. And that's why
and then Spike Lee puts it up there, you know what I mean? And then sells the movie.
Then he
and sells the
displays
movie. Yeah, and sells the movie like it's something to empower us.
But you know what though?
And the white people aren't even watching it, because you see the comments by white people are real negative, but they didn't even watch it because they would have been empowered by it. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh, those Negroes nice. They ain't even kill us. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they ain't worrying about
but
that.
You know what though?
They know the change is already on our minds.
I still think that it has to do with a low level of depravity. And of course, you know, we are accused of being, you know, horrendous, horrible people, etc. But I think that inherently there is goodness at the base of us. And because that by nature, we are created that way, I think that that's why sometimes we don't turn around and exact retribution on these people. Because we know who we are and we don't have to stoop to other people's level. And even when we have turned around and returned the favor, we really haven't advanced as a result of it.
That's right.
So what do you gain when you do that?
Like, you know, but that's what I was like, but then don't get involved in it. You know what I'm saying? If you know that you don't have the heart to do it, then why get in it? You know what I'm saying? Why get in it? So basically, the movie was like humiliating to the Black man, because it's like, you did all this, one of your friends is shot, gonna die, all of that, you know what I'm saying? And then you ain't gonna do nothing. And everybody in here said the man's guilty. He killed your son. He shouldn't have killed your son. This and that. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous.
What movie was that?
I didn't see that. American Skin.
American Skin. You know,
I didn't see that, and now I won't, based upon you know you're saying that that's the way that Spike handled that, because we already have enough negative messages going out here into society.
And that was worse. It is even worse when it's negative. It was worse than negative. It was like, you're stupid. Like, you know what I mean? That you're stupid and you're ignorant and you're a bum. And you ain't got, and matter of fact, we just gonna shoot you in the head because you just that useless. We just gonna go, come on out, we'll shoot you in the head. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and then they ran like the news story about him afterwards, and they made him look like he was a horrible man. You've already shot him in the head, like, but they just wanted to just go on like, you know, this, we know what you do, but it was no, like, there's no moral to that. There's no moral to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody crazy is celebrating, you know what I'm saying? Because you showed a Black man getting shot in the head, 2 of them, and a young, intelligent student, you know what I mean, getting murdered for just using the camera. So what you doing now? You scaring somebody to death that we gotta stop using our cameras? Like, what are we doing? The camera is like the saving grace. Don't do a movie telling us that we shouldn't record because you're gonna get shot. I don't know. It's just,
I didn't see that.
It's just sad. But we're gonna have to, you know, just be supportive of each other, you know.
Absolutely.
And when, like you said, and our demise should not be, you know, used as entertainment. And it's like things that the majority community can do. Like, we should start saying that we don't want to do that. And like Cicely Tyson said, like, there were certain movies that she chose her whole life not to do.
Not to do. That's
what
right.
she wasn't gonna be, what she wasn't gonna do. We as a community can decide how we want to be depicted.
That's
because
true.
nothing is gonna change. You know what I mean? Nothing is gonna change until, you know what I'm saying, that we change it.
True.
And like you said, like, you know what I mean, we're not violent, you know what I mean, people. Like, we're not, if we're not that, you know what I'm saying, then don't depict me as that. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
like, you know, make me look like I don't even know myself.
Yeah.
Like one thing that I like
We're not the violent people, but we defend ourselves.
we need to
gonna do
learn
that.
to. We need to learn to.
We
We
did
need to
defend
learn
ourselves
to,
back in the
because
day.
we're not defending ourselves. We're not even defending ourselves with truth. Because if we think that it's okay to confess with something that we didn't do, you know what I'm saying? The best way to defend yourself is to stand for truth. You know what I'm saying? People
That's
need to
right.
know exactly who you are, what you stand for, you know what I'm saying? So that if anybody ever accuses you of anything outside that, you know what I mean? Then you know it's not true.
But you know what? I think that's easy to say as a Black woman, but you know, we don't really know what Black men go through. And then when they get these young boys in those police stations and they start battering them down, I mean, I think it's very excruciating. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows somebody who has given some stories. So I think that that's just easier said than done. And I think that it's really horrific. But I think
that's not what happened in this case, though. According to the documentary, that one person confessed because of his father.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And that was very weak. And I think he did.
Yeah, those brothers, the kids were strong. Like they were strong.
But you know what? No.
Even the kid that the father made confess didn't want to confess.
Right. Yeah.
But how much of that do we?
Yeah.
Do we know that there wasn't any creative license used in that documentary?
Well, that would be horrible because that's their documentary from their side.
And it was done by Ava DuVernay.
Yeah, that would be horrible. Like you know what I'm saying?
I thought so. But you know what I thought? I thought that the father did that because he wanted to keep his job.
No, he wanted, he was really.
Yeah, it was something connected to his job. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That was sick.
It was awful. Absolutely.
So, but how can it be better for your job for your son to confess to something horrible like that? That was like, I don't get that.
Because you know what? He probably thought he was going to make it go away more easily. Yeah, he probably thought it was going to be a quick
he was going to get that many years.
But you know, it was terrible. It was terrible.
And no Black man in his right mind think that you can get off with beating a white lady in the park almost to death and rape her.
Yeah. It was terrible.
His father was straight, like retarded, like needs to be eliminated from the race, really. Like
you know what? You know what?
I don't even know if it was DNA.
He's dead now, though, so
you know
he's
what?
gone.
It
He's been
was
eliminated.
terrible. It was terrible here in New York during that time, just like it was terrible when Lee Malvo and John Boyd was on the loose down there in DC. I'm telling you, it was just that intense here. It was really very intense. It was terrible. It was
someone had to roll.
That's why we need to realize that our behavior doesn't just impact you.
Exactly.
That's why that guy that set up Fred Hampton, you know what I'm saying? They put in that movie how much money the FBI paid him to be a Judas. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like, nothing,
there's so many of those.
Nothing will change for us.
That's true.
Until we clean up our own house.
That's true. That's true.
Period. Like, you know what I'm saying? We can go out and talk about everybody else and this and that and what they did. You know what I'm saying? We all know that. I know that. I know that. But I don't know what you gonna do to me. That's what I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's the threat.
Yeah.
People in your comfort zone. That's the threat. And that's our challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we keep like refocusing like outside. Like, all we gotta do is take care of inside.
That's true. That's true.
Well, you know, JB, when you said take care of inside, I mean, God knows I look at my nephews and I say, my God, what is wrong with my sisters? And this is nothing that I don't tell them. And I try to talk to my nephews who are beyond reach because they are of an age where they're going to do what they want to do. And I didn't just start the conversation. I started the conversation years ago. But when your parent lets you get away.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I can't do a thing.
Yep.
There is
That's a
nothing I
lost
can do.
cause. That's a
right.
lost cause.
That's right.
Lost cause.
That's right.
Unless
And
they
what
just
we-
respect
what-
you like that.
But what we have to, you know what I mean, realize is there's certain people that can be saved.
Yeah.
And a lot of times,
Yeah.
like the brother was talking about on the he went and the woman was the husband was sitting there and the child was sitting there and nobody going to shovel snow, so she had to pay him. You know what I'm saying? She's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't give up though. You
Not
can't
them,
give
like
up.
you know what I mean?
still gotta
She's
talk
the
to 'em.
problem, and she's creating another generational problem. You know
There
what I'm
you
saying?
go.
Because you're allowing it. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So like yeah. So what we have to do is, you know what I mean, cut her out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
Somehow.
right.
Like
You're right.
because she's the problem. Like you know,
You're
and figure out how to address him. You know what I mean?
Right, because you definitely do have black women who raise their daughters, but they coddle their sons.
There
They
you
treat
go.
their
Yeah,
sons,
yeah.
they treat their
Amen.
sons like that's their man.
That's
Like
right.
that's their man. That's the male in their life. And they
Yep.
need to stop. They need to
Yep.
stop.
And they
Lord.
won't even let him, you know what I mean, do what he's got to do. Like, you know, like if you went up to him, if you went to your nephews and you said, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Nobody's asking him what he wants to do.
Oh,
Right.
man, I've been through that, but I'm telling
Don't
you.
give up. Somebody gotta be that voice of reason
right.
in his
That's right.
ear. It's
That's
better for him to have that information in the back of his mind and tap into at some point than
That's
nobody
right.
not giving it to him at
Exactly.
all.
Right.
And
That's
I
right.
agree. And that will
Yeah.
be my legacy
Just,
because when I
just
die,
keep planting
he
that
will
seed,
know.
sis.
That's right.
When I
That's
die,
right.
he will say, my Aunt Ethel Hayes never
Mhm.
let him get away with
Yes, yes.
That's right, sis.
That's my
That's right.
legacy for
Keep it.
him because I can't do nothing else for him. That's my legacy
That's right.
because
That's
he's on his own now.
That's
Mhm.
right.
And you know
And-
what, for me, you know what I think as a parent, I think that that's the most important thing that you can give your child or the children who you interact with is guidance. You understand you live in a material world and you need material things, but these children cannot be around us 24/7. We don't want them around us 24/7. And they have to learn how to govern themselves
That's right.
when they're away from us. And most importantly, they have to learn how to make good decisions because your decisions make you and they break you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's
right.
all about representation. You
You
know,
know,
Yeah.
always tell them that.
I was
Yes.
thinking when Jay was talking about that woman paid someone to take the snow off her sidewalk or her yard, the son should have been out there doing that. My son would have been out there doing it if I'd had a son. But what is she teaching her son?
That's
That's
right.
He's
right.
not teaching him anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
That's right.
And it's like, and, you know, and it is really easy to just feel like it's over. But I feel like, you know, all of us, you know, and the hardest part in that situation is getting the mother to see what she's doing wrong.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Like,
believe
you know,
me.
it's so true.
Like that
I had a
It's so
grandmother.
true.
Like that
I had a
Carmel Jay.
grandmother. Woo.
Yeah. Miss Pastor Bozeman said, the only ones we can save are those who will listen. And you
That's
know, you're so right. And Mr. Jones, who I can't get his mic, you know, to open, he was saying that he met some really good brothers out there who, while he was feeding the homeless. And, you know, we're gonna do more of that. You know, we're going to do, you know, more of that, Mr. Jones. And we're gonna come to DC too. No, because our next fest is going to be in the DC area live, you know, so definitely. And, you know, and what I always say, like, I only expect the best, you know, from us. I already understand, like, I have very low expectations from anybody. I don't expect anything from anybody outside of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like sometimes y'all feel like, oh, JV's giving them a break. I ain't giving them a break. You know what I'm saying? I know that they're doing what we should be doing. They're looking out for their best interests. We need to be looking out, you know what I mean, for our community's best interest as well, you know, and stop thinking that because something is in their best interest, it's in our best interest. You know what I'm saying? We need to galvanize, you know what I mean, and first discover what is in our best interest.
That's right.
How, you know what I mean? How can we overcome all of that that we've gone through? And how can we maximize the opportunities that are available to us today? We gotta do this. Like we can do this. But so I'm sorry. Like
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, I'm not gonna apologize for bringing up something that's real important to me, but I just really appreciate y'all sharing, your thoughts, like on everything.
Yeah, it was very spirited.
Yes, excellent discussion. Excellent.
Yeah.
Always.
Nice talk.
Always.
That's so good.
Even
That's
if
so
we
good.
agree or disagree, we can still
Amen.
talk because we
Yeah.
still
Amen.
love each other.
Yeah.
Yes,
Amen.
that's right. That's right.
Amen.
That's good.
And I mean, and I truly, like, as we know, like I don't I just appreciate you all hearing it, because he just allowing me to share, because I definitely know that some of the things the thoughts that I have are not like generally like common, like aren't accepted. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not like easy to wrap our mind around. Like, how's she coming with domestic violence against men? But you know what I'm saying? But just honestly,
That's true.
I will share even more, as we go along. But I think that you'll look at it different now, and you'll think about it differently. And everybody that has a son, they already look at it that way.
I want her to see that movie.
They know how sweet their son is. You know what I mean? You see how kind he is. You know what I mean? And you want, to make sure that they're safe, just like we want our daughters to be safe.
Yeah, it's like if you got a brother or just like
Yes.
the lady with her nephew, you
Yes.
don't want to see these things happen.
Into
And
the-
we're trying our best to save them,
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying the sisters planting the seed. I said, keep planting it, keep talking, because one day it's gonna grow, but it has to be planted.
That is the
So-
prayer. That
Amen.
is the prayer.
It's gonna happen, sis. Trust me, it's gonna happen. It might, and you don't have to close your eyes. It probably gonna happen when your eyes is open. So things is coming. These kids, things are happening fast now.
Yeah,
It ain't
really
taking
are.
20 and 30 years. It's happening.
Yeah.
And that
Awakening is occurring.
And at the festa, especially around our town hall, I want us to, continue to discuss things that we need to move our community forward. And then so just make sure you register for the fest for the 26th. And I'm going to shorten the 27th, because I don't want us online for 8 hours. So I'm going to bring it down from 10 to 12 on Saturday. So I will make sure I note that. Like, I hate to do it, but I was like, I don't even want everybody to do that. Like, cause we on this box all week, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let's do a little on Friday, let's do a little on Saturday, and a little on Sunday, and get it all in.
But let the spirit guide you, sis.
Yeah, exactly. I don't say it's like, let's do it. With the you let this, but hey, exactly. Let it guide us. Let we go. We can flow with it. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, y'all. And I'll see you Friday morning.
JB.
Thank you. Thank
You too. Everybody have a
Good
good evening.
Good
And
night.
congratulations again, JB.
Yes.
Thank you.
Put that picture up again. Put that wedding picture up again.
Oh, that's so sweet. Look, what? Like, they were like, bam. No,
Oh,
All right.
Nice.
awesome.
Nice.
It's big. Look at how big I got it, Lord.
Oh, please.
Big? What are you talking about?
No, I had it. It seemed like, I don't know what y'all can see. That's a good point. It's probably not big to y'all. And then that was
No.
We see this.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Beautiful.
beautiful. Very
It is.
tasteful. I love it.
you. I know you probably wanted
Yeah.
that snow one. Remember this one? And I did. Oh, I snow one. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that one. That is
Yeah, I like that
Oh
one.
yeah, I
That's
saw that
nice.
today. That's
That's
very
I don't have a
nice.
baby.
Wow.
They're all gorgeous.
I love the baby's breath.
I look, Miss Beecham,
Yeah.
Miss Beecham, they said they love yours. I look like, and there's a way past baby's breath. There was some things I found, and they're like, actually, I stuck them in my braids.
Oh really?
Pretty.
Nice. Oh, wow.
very
I
nice.
should wear them one night. Bring it, look, bring my stuff.
Okay.
I know. On our anniversary.
And it
That's
was
very
that much
nice.
ice out there. It was ice on the trees.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
cold.
Winter
Okay.
Wonderland.
You hear Miss Beecham? Yep. We had, look, she was all on a ladder in the snow. Yes, she was. So look,
Nice.
so if you ever want a photographer that will do truth or dare, going out there in the woods for you, everything. Look. But it was like she was down in the snow, like, did the ladder. And
Yeah.
her husband out there too.
That's nice.
Thanks,
Nice.
Pastor Mosman.
Yeah.
Thank you.